Hello, my dudes and dudettes. Welcome to a new and first video on this channel. I hope it will be the only one. And this is my Voidcard Rush guide for every ranked map. I want to kill myself. Okay, I lost a bet with a degenerate, so I have to do this shit. And because I'm a man of my word, we do this properly. So, because this is gonna be a long video, we're gonna start relatively quick. I'm gonna get over everything hopefully quick, and I just hope, I hope this will not be 3.5 hours long. This is shit is too much work. Okay, we start with the deck. First of all, logistic tab. Logistic tab is not, no, let's not start with the logistic tab. Let's start with what we wanna do. We wanna void cut rush. This means we wanna, at the beginning of the game, we wanna fast move into the enemy spawn with ground vehicles, mainly void cuts, and deploy our own CV in the enemy home zone, kill the enemy CV. Hopefully, if he does not have another CV, then we win immediately, and if he does, then we control both spawns, and he can't call in any more units. We try to find the last CV and kill it, and yeah, that's what this deck is for. Okay. Yeah, how do we want to do this? Okay, we start with logistics. I have a fob in there, but I will not actually be using a fob. Like, you don't start with your fob. It's just, if you're gonna get into one of the rank maps where I come later to, where you don't want to rocket rush, you at least have a fobs. Two cards of supply trucks, because why not? Command in the Battle 20, which is the most important, and a backup command in the BV. Infantry, Burger Max, Meat Shields, Bokops in Battle 20, mostly to confuse the enemy where your CV is in the Battle 20. Because if there's only one Battle 20 driving to the enemy base, it's more likely to get killed. Even if it's not perfect defense, because with the veterancy and all, you can still see what the real CV is. But it's inflicts, just there to be there. SFS 90, really crucial, like they're useful with holding the enemy spawn when you've taken it, if there's another second spawn or something like that, and defending your own, because Apilas and Stingers, so they're relatively good to defend. SSF in Oryx, just to have something in helicopters, like if your CV is killed and shit like that, and you need to actually fly something over, yeah, this is there to get there. Buffalo's 85s only mainly used for defending your own spawn. Parabet 90s only to have something with some shock squad with a good MG and okay AT launcher. Support. Voidcat ZA35. This is crucial. I call it the Wheeled Gepard. I will still calling the Wheeled Gepard because that name is just a mouthful. Yeah, it's a wheeled SPA. Uh, yeah, I hope everybody knows what this shit doing. This shit kills helicopters, this shit kills planes, it stuns, it's also fire support. Yeah. Cactus in here, if you want to take it, I mostly take it not because the Roycats are so fast. You can seed bait with them relatively effectively, but you may want to take a cactus with you if seeds a bother for you. This one is just if the game drags on, you maybe need another APs. Same with this. You normally don't need a motor. Valkyrie, on some maps, it can be nice to get some smoke cover, so you don't get side shot too much. Can be nice, but it's very niche. Thanks. This is the star, Wildcard 105. The Oliphant you only need when the game drags on. This you only don't really need, but you have the points with this deck. If you only take the units you absolutely need for uh, a Wildcard Rush, then yeah, the deck stays half empty, so why should you not take other units? Weaken, this record, it is crucial. Cheap helicopter, cheap eyes, paraffiners, yeah, you can take them. Most of the time you don't need them. Another kind of records you also don't really need, but like I said, if you only put in what you really need, then this deck stays half empty. Vehicles, just something cheap with a vehicleless guns, which does not die immediately to an MG. Some helicopters, fire support, and ATGMs, really good fire support, and some AA capability. And this is just a cheap gun if you're hunting the last CVE or stuff like that. Air tap. Cheetah C as your ASFs because it's a lot more. It's a good ASF and it's cheaper than the Carver. And if you need an ASF, you probably strap for points because you invest everything into the push in the beginning. Then you need to invest in your own spawn defense. Yeah. So yeah, Cheetah D, really good seat and not really good seat, but really good strike plane, which also has seat capabilities. Normally you take these downwetted, but we hope for short games. Like if the game is not short, we have a problem. So most of the time you don't even buy two. Most of the time you don't buy any planes, but sometimes you need to. And yeah, Cheetah D2, laser guided bomber. What should I tell you? Buccaneers, ATGM plane, it's nice, for example, when you drive to the enemy spawn and he reroutes his tank column and forgets his AA or something. This can kill like 2 or 3 heavy tanks and give your Voidguard the chance to kill all the not non-tanks. Yeah. And this is just a cheap rocket plane. Yeah. Yeah, I hope this gives you an understanding of the deck. But it's relatively quickly, I hope. And we're gonna see us in the first guide. See you guys. Hello and welcome back to my Rocket Rush guide. Now we are on the first map, Mudfight, from this perspective. Yeah, let's start. How we wanna do this. First of all, some things about the map. Most people open for here. And because they do that, we don't want to go there. We now want to find the best route to their spawn, which in this case is from this road through here until here and then get into here. We want to position our CV here, hunt for the CV in their spawn and kill them. At the same time we want to get something here so they can't just fall through and probably have a cheap recon squad here so we have eyes on when they're moving the stuff to intercept up, so we maybe can side shot them with an ATGM plane or something like that. Just so we have more vision and know what's up. Okay, let's go to the actual record rush composition. We don't need a fob, like we don't plan for this game to go long, and we need all the starting points we can get. We have an infantry CV in our base. Then we need one more infantry CV with our rush. Then we need, of course, weekend records. I would go for 2 weekend records. Then we need some normal records. I generally go between like 3 to 5. Here, more records is better than none. You need some infantry, but not that much. So I would go for like 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if we have points left. Then we're gonna need some meat shields. Just for them to get shot first. Then we need some decoy rattle 20 and more protection for our CV. And then we need 3 of these, I call them wild geppards. 1, 2, 3. Because many people react with like massed helicopters or planes, and if we lose 1 or 2, we should still be able to focus. Then for our protection here, gonna go there for this town, and then some cheap recon to set up a need. Then we have 60 points left. That we could go probably for an SAFS squad to set up in here once we have put our CV there. That's what we want to do. We want to put our CV in this zone to negate the spawning zone of our opponent, so he can't call any units man, and we want to keep our spawn. Yeah, that's would be how this would be set up. And I'm just like, we don't have an opponent here. I'm gonna show some replays for some maps, not for every map or not for every map side, but I'm gonna do show you some replays, but just some basics to get into. Like, this is some basic compositions. Like, if you take one or more void cuts less than I have, or a little bit more meat shield, or a little bit more rattle 20s, like, this is up to you. This is just some basic idea. Why we don't start with a recon shopper is, it's just, we have limited points. Recon shopper gets killed relatively easily. We don't have much in the idea of like reacting. If he comes down here with all his forces, it's not like, and we are here. We see it with a chopper. It's not like we can redirect to the other side of the map. We see it with our recon workouts, and then we have to just go to Foxtrot and try to get echo from the backside or stuff like that. Like, you're committed at this point. Like, you're gonna take the enemy spawn, and if you're gonna get massacred on open field, then you lose. Happens. So yeah, definitely should. Recon chopper would be nice, but we can't fit it in, and more firepower is needed. Okay, let's set this up. Just send them here. Send one of them here. Send this one here. Cap. Unload. Then set there. Go to your lead gepard, set them up on one hotkey. I go for my CV and set them up on another hotkey. Oh fuck. That didn't. That happens. You're gonna probably see a replay where this happened to me with all my infantry. That's not that bad. So we wanna go here. I have the KK in here. I have the SSF in here. 80 points. Need the another SRF-90 squad for here. And yeah. Of course, there is no opponent here, so this is just some thought exercise. Did you fast move in here? Like, normally now your enemy knows what you're doing, and but you committed. You kill if stuff comes down there. You kill if he calls in bombers. You try to dodge. Like, your wildcards are really fast off road, so dodging is absolutely possible. And yeah, you just continue going to the enemy spawn. Like, you have your meat shields, you have everything but the CV in redundant quantities. So if one gets killed, it's not that bad for you. And you just continue driving to the enemy base. And no, like, if now for the time, if this can see like movement from here, you can call on an airplane or stuff like that to kill. And then you just go in. Select your CV. Destruct your, like, keep your forces spread. Try to find where the enemy CV is. These are the ones with the decoys. So use them as decoys. Keep one in the city. And as soon go up here, you go up there, and you just search for the city, have this on CVs. Even if you didn't kill the enemy CV now he can call in any units more. And you just hunt for the CV and hope everything is okay. Yeah, that's basically it. And now I'm gonna show you a replay, how that actually worked out for me. Okay, welcome back to a replay of the same thing I talked just about record rushing from Bravo side on Mudfight. And we're just gonna quickly go over this. Yeah, wait a pause. You see same setup basically. This is my record rush. This is the SSF that goes into there. This is the recon that goes into there. Yeah, let's see how this worked out. He does a weird opener, I have to say. I'm sorry, but I have to make so many guides. Like, I have plenty from the other side, but this is probably one of the only times I got mudfight from this side while doing this. So the quality of opponents is what it is. We're gonna see later that's also gonna work against us. See, calling it cheater D. Yeah, wanted to strafe the KF2, didn't quite work out. Here for some reason my my weird Gepard decided to go elsewhere, but it is what it is. He killed some of them, I don't worry about it, I'm just worried about getting into the base with the right units. Some more micro mistakes. Towards NT80, I don't care, I just want to go in, get his base. Oh, I killed the T80s. Units deployed. Helicopters. He's running away with his CV. He does not make an attempt to go into my base. But yeah. I basically control his spawn right now. He has no... Buccaneer doesn't work so well. Doesn't matter. And for some reason, he puts his CV in here. But yeah, it should... Yeah, there's the surrender. And I win. So easy it is. That's a basic rocket rush. And now we go to the other side. Yeah. Until soon. Hey, and we are back. Now to the other side. I decided to skip the no opponent replay or game because the setup is basically the same. I'm gonna talk about some changes. Okay. For example, the road you wanna take is this road over here into his spawn. You wanna go a little bit more infantry heavy than from the other side because most likely his CV is in here and you have to hop between buildings and actually kill it with your infantry most of the time. So something like a double stack of SRF-90 is nice to have and you should probably have it. At the same time, to protect your own base, it's really good to put like one shock squad in here just so he can't just mindlessly drive through. But we're gonna see that. Like, I'm gonna speed this up. The setup is basically the same. Like, how you see, like, weekend warriors, weekend wildcards, some burger mac as meats. Then they're coming the weird gepards. This is my own CV. Second CV will come in soon. This is the shock spot that goes into here. And yeah, I am submitting more and more forces. And it should be go time fairly soon. So I have one weekend squad that's driving into this town just to give me some vision where he's moving his units. Because if I see all his units turning back, then I don't need to buy much base defense. If I see that he's non-stop driving his column into Echo instead of defending his own spawn, then I know that I really need to buy something now instead of later. Yeah. This convoy is straight up going down this road. You see his main push is fairly standard. It's a 10-minute game, so not everything goes up to plan, or it would be shorter. You see the weekend driving to the side, this driving on. I'm buying an SFS squad to defend my CV. Now he knows what's on. He's driving back with his tanks, that's important. And yeah, this column sometimes get messed up if you try to micro them all at once. You see, like these shouldn't drive there, but yeah, I'm basically splitting my forces to make it harder for him to. I'm completely mess up my micro against the KF52, like I didn't even notice it was there. But yeah, so my CV is out of the zone, which is quite bad, and my CV is dead. And he buys another one. So now I have a problem. But do I despair? No, of course not. I still have some forces here, like my SFF's still gonna conquer this town block. I still have infantry, I still have Voikards. Not all is lost. Yeah, what I do now is I buy the SFS squads and a CV in battle 20s, and I'm gonna reload them so I can fly this in. It turns out I would have probably fared better if I just driving in around here, but I was not sure of that. Like, I couldn't know that that BV is standing right there and not gonna continue. I'm using the fob that the enemy left me to resupply my SSF because this double stack is the important part now. Like, he can't drive too close with this. He still had a book. And I want to kill this. I know his CV is somewhere in here, but what's important for me now is to drive my own CV. Like, this is all nice, but this is too slow. Like, this will not achieve anything. And quality 3, skill, doesn't matter too much. I wanted to look for the A to safeguard this, but yeah. VV is nearly out of rounds. He can't buy new units. I can. I should have probably bought a helicopter or two, but I was afraid of SAA. Yeah, I kill this because he drives too close. Now he has the BDA 90 still, but it doesn't get him anything. And I try to fly my CV. I forget about those VDVs. Then try to relocate to here. Didn't notice those were not dead yet. But he's retreating for some reason. Ah. Yeah. Like, if you look how easier the SSF got in here than the CV helicopter, it would have probably been better if I've drawn them here. But hindsight is 2020, so it worked. Now I control his barn, and as soon as he sees that, he surrenders. Easy as that. Yeah. This was Mudfight. See you on the next game. Welcome back to Nuclear Winter for another replay for our Wildcard Rush guide. So, this is Nuclear Winter. Nuclear Winter is kind of tricky. Like, really tricky because of the second spawns from either side. So, even if your Wildcard Rush succeeds, you're not gonna immediately have your opponent out of the game. He still will be able to call in units. But there's ways how to make it work. First off, from both sides, this is the better start. Because you don't have to cross the bridge from the other side, which can be quite a hassle. Like, it can work, but it also can be really annoying. Just have that called out. Then you want to defend your second spawn. You don't want to CV up in it, because it's just too much points. You can't afford it at the beginning. But you want to defend it. How do I defend it? Most of the time with one SFF squad and one Parabat. Just to have a Parabat 90. Just to have a shock squad and an AA and good launcher in there. And that's mostly good enough at the start. And then this is basically the normal wildcard rush. What you do is yeah, you don't need much infantry to clear it, but it's just some buildings, and you can shoot it with vehicles. So infantry is not that important, so you don't need a double stack of SSF, stuff like that. Just some. I still put in one most of the time, but yeah, you're gonna see it's the wildcard rush right in itself is fairly simple. Also, in defending your own base, what you I like to put my CV in here just because it's fairly close to my reinforcements and I have a lot more room to hop into. Then as defense, I like to call in a Buffalo squad in this building just to cover this, and have an SAS squad in this building. If I see that he's coming through here, you can call out stuff like in here. Like, but just basic defenses have like, because helicopters coming from the river interior are fairly common, so having a man-pad squad that can defend against it here is important, and just have something with ATGM range covering your open field in your own sector. Yeah, but the rush itself is fairly normal, nothing much to it, and there we go. What does our opponent does? Our opponent has a somewhat weird opener. Like, I've done this many times on nuclear. It really doesn't matter too much. Like, he also tried to cheese us, I think. Like, he has a Rafale at the start, Tiger, and yeah, I don't know what he's doing with all this shit. Well, he should notice something is coming right around now. Yeah, he had a tornado on hand. Do I drive through? Yeah, I drive through this one. And I think the next one I dodge. Yeah. That's the good thing about all these weird vehicles, they're so fast. Yeah, you can really easily dodge. He tries to fly something through, which is fairly normal. I think he sets it down in here and then drives his Panther into it. Yeah. You see my base. I'm nearly there. This CV spot is really common. This was really unlucky. Just before I wanted to unload my CV, it routed. It was so panicked, like not even damaged, but it routed. So I can't actually unload my CV right now, which is. But now he can't call in any more aircraft, which is a substantial number of his stuff. He flies in a Panther into my base, but the SSF defended. This Commander Marine is annoying. I think I lose the CV to it. But yeah, he doesn't have much else. I'm continuing. Like, what's important with this? Keep your enemy on the off foot. Like, you have to keep pressuring him. It's not good to use all these now for base defense and try to cap your second spawn and then slowly run it out. That's usually not the right idea. What you want to do is immediately continue the pressure, because he will not have enough stuff at the right places immediately. Like, my bet is that I don't have enough A, but I want to saving the CV, so there it stands. Cheetah D to hunt tigers and stuff. Why are they not moving here? No. Like, this is not some high skill gameplay, yeah. Come on, Marine kills my CV. This is really stuff that everyone can do. Oh, I see a CV. It dies. Game 1. Yeah. See you in the next one. Welcome again to our nuclear winter section of the guide. And now we are on the other side. Against the friendly Walrus again. Like, he got really unlucky. Like, I got him quite a few times while doing this shit. And he raged a bit, understandably. And lost quite some elo. Yeah. That poor dude. But yeah, now we're from this side. I'm experimenting a little bit here. I have a cactus instead of a third weird gepard for seed stuff. I don't think I'd do anything with it. Defending the second spawn here is basically the same. One power bar, one SF, as everything else stays pretty much the same. Yeah, and we go. Yeah, and this happens. I mess up the shift command and unload all my infantry. You have to do what you have to do. Also, I invested into a reconnoiter here. This was fairly early into my experimenting with this the second time. I think I lose this cactus. Yeah, it's not. But he buys a shit ton of Factoria. Split my forces. I should have continued here, but I'm standing too much around. What's going on the other side of the map? Is he continuing? No, I have my defense here. I bought even a CV for this. I have my defense in here. Which is not much, but it is what it is. I have spawn now. I kill the CV with this rocket. Calling more units from behind him. Annoy him. And he surveyed us. Yeah, that's how it goes. Like, all these replays are really, really short if they go right. This did go right. I think he was still a little bit pissed from the record washes I did to him before. Yeah. See you in the next video. Welcome back to the plunging part of the guide. I have to say, plunging is a terrible map to do this. Like, this is just so bad. From this side, it's a little bit better. No, actually, I'm from the other side. From this side, it's even worse than from the other side, but from both sides. This is a terrible map. If like I'm gonna lose this gameplay, and I don't even have a replay where I win with wildcard rushing on this map. I didn't get it. Like I get it 2 times against good opponents. Yeah, no chance. Like this map is terrible. Like probably the second worst. If you count in the different signs, it's probably the second and third position of being the worst maps to wildcard rush on. So yeah, I'm gonna be quick with this. Yeah, I'm facing off against Talbot. Yeah, you have to. Basically, what makes this so bad is like your spawn is really open. You can defend against it, that's not the problem, but you have. Like, there's no really good direct route to his spawn. Like, you think, oh, but you can drive through here. But yeah, this is really close in territory, and it's just terrible. You could try to drive through here. It probably would be better. Like I said, like I've got this map 2 times in the 30 games that I played for this shitty guide. Um, yeah, it's not good. Like if everybody takes this guide seriously, I hope you don't. But if you do, just don't wildcard rush on this map. It's probably not gonna work against even a really bad opponent because he has so much time to react. And yeah, it's bad. Like even if you're from the others, like you don't even have good positions to put in your CV. Like if you record rush up here to the road, and now in the end sector, and you are not here, like this shit is really open. Your CV is probably gonna die. You can try to get into this forest, but then the unit that he's rerouting, if you from this position through here, is gonna directly drive into your CV and stuff like that. And yeah, you just have it. From the other side, it's not much better if you make it to here and this is all the shit is open. His CV can be here, it can be here, it can even be hide where my CV is right now, or somewhere in this forest. This is a little bit better, but not much. Yeah, it's just a really terrible map to boycott rush on, and I would advise to everybody, don't do this shit here. Like it's not worth it. Like I think, yeah, you're gonna see like his main push is going into here. Like it's all gonna die. Yeah. He doesn't even have this much shit here, but it's more than enough. My CV is even like, yeah, my CV is dead now. Yeah, this is over. And this is how it's gonna be 90% of the time. If you're not incredibly lucky, your opponent is incredibly bad. And I think this is a good time to speak about the viability of wildcard rushing in general. I don't think it's a good tactic. I have like 80% win rate with it, which speaks it is, but some of those were against opponents that are like way lower skill abilities. Like I'm not a good player. Like I would say I'm decent in the players with the thousands of hours of experience we have. Like I can beat some, I lose some. But against somebody who really knows his shit, I'm gonna lose every time. Against somebody who really doesn't know anything, I'm gonna win every time. And 50% of my record washes was against people who didn't know their shit. So my winning was nothing. I would have won anyway. So I beat I beat like one dude who was good with the shit. And that was on the best map. We can come to it later. Yeah. In general, I wouldn't say it's a viable strategy. over the rank of major to colonel. I think you can get to major fairly reliable with just doing this shit. No matter your skill level or like at least captain. Yeah, I think this is absolutely viable to do. If you somehow know your shit, you probably can get up to colonel. But anything beyond that, and if you're facing brigadiers and other stuff, and major generals in regularly, they're probably most of the time gonna defend this because this is just in practice this is just a worse healy rush. Like it's not as frowned upon as healy rushing, it's not against the rules on some servers as healy rushing, but this is just basically a worse healy rush where you bring your own CV. And yeah. The only thing that's going for it is that really few people expect it. And if you have some of the better maps for it, even if it's hard to defend. Like we come to Punchbowl later, and Punchbowl is definitely the best map for avoid rushing. So yeah, but in general, I would say it's not that viable of a strategy. It's probably worth a lot more if you just get better by yourself. So to anybody who takes this guide seriously, I wouldn't, man. I wouldn't. It's fun to do like a few games with it. It loses its fun really quickly. Like, yeah. I played 30, like, I did it when SA came out a little bit. Did this Reddit guide for Wargame rushing. It was quite fun there, just because of the novelty. Got old really quickly. Now I've played like 30 games and like, I don't want to touch anything of this ever again. Like, no, just no. And if you want to play OP shit, just play some mech decks or some shit. Like, don't go down to this. You don't learn anything of value doing this. Yeah, just I wanted to just say that. Okay, see you in the next video. Hello and welcome again to our next part in this Wicked Rush guide. Now we are on Paddyfield. Paddyfield is an okay map for Wicked Rushing, so from both sides it's better from this side, from Echo to Delta. The basic strategy is just driving up through this road into here, into his spawn, unloading my CV, killing his CV. And yeah, this is the basic what we want to do. And yeah, the composition is again more focused on wildcards, less focused on infantry. You still want some infantry, of course. The basic formula stays pretty much the same. I'm going with a cactus here and a weekend chopper just to see where he is, because if he's driving down this road into my 2-pointer, I have to react fairly early. I put my CV in here just because it's the closest to my spawn where I can react and try to defend it. Defending your own spawn on this map is a little bit tricky from this side. From the other it's easier. But getting to the other side is also easier, so it evens out. Yeah, let's go. With what is he going to do? So I have a weekend chopper. He's playing French, it looks like. French and 80. And yeah, we'll just keep on driving down this road. We don't stop for anything, we don't unload. We're just driving through, we kill everything that we see. And we now buy some stuff to defend ourselves. Like, we buy a Gepard, wheeled Gepard. And yeah, we just continue driving, buying some stuff to defend ourselves. Wanna get something in here, wanna get something in here. This is gonna probably be too late. How it is working here. I'm pretty much in his base uncontested. A little bit slow. Could have reacted faster. But now he can't buy any shit anymore. Should kill CV fairly easily. Left the cactus behind, I don't know why. Yeah, this didn't work quite out. But at least it's delaying him a little bit. Buy some tanks. Probably should... Yeah, he bought a second CV. And now I'm just rerouting these Voidcards to my own spawn again. Just for defense, because I have enough stuff here to defend my own CV. And I need stuff here to make him not get this. So we don't just trade bases. Even if I would be favored if it ends in a base trade. But yeah, we don't want that. But he makes a fairly good effort. He has tanks in my base now. This work could be a problem. The beta 90 doesn't hit. Oh, it hits now. Protecting. Yeah, these were just the meat shields. He kills my... But the Wycards are coming back. He's not aggressive enough with his stuff, so only now he spots me. CB's already dead, some red is coming in. These Wycards coming in. Yeah. Doesn't have enough firepower anymore to kill my CB. And this is basically game over. He can't do much anymore, and I think he surrenders any second now. Should be that way. Yeah. He wins. No, he doesn't win. He surrenders. And I win another game. Yeah, I guess we will see us from the other side in a second. And welcome back from the other side to our battlefield part of the guide. I have to... Yeah, I only got like low ranked players on this map. Like I think I get battlefield 3 times. All 3 times against privates or unranked guys. It is what it is. Yeah, from this side, there are 2 options basically how you can do this. You can drive just down the middle. It's faster to the spawn, but it also has a little bit more risk because if he has a main tank push going here or here, you can just drive frontally into it, or he can drive his stuff back to intercept you here. Yeah, especially if like CV in here, then your Wycards are gonna go down here, and he has all his stuff in here, and of course you can get sandwiched. So driving down the middle road is a little bit risky. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drive down here, which is also not without risk, because if he has enough good infantry in here, you can get intercepted fairly easily. That's the reason we do it a little bit different this time, I think. First of all, we're gonna buy a weekend helicopter. And I think then we do another helicopter that flies here and tries to intercept his stuff before it's in Bravo. Defending your spawn on this map is fairly easily. Like, you put a unit in here, you put a unit in here later. And yeah, they can't get to your command that easily. He has a tantrum shot error, so my helicopter doesn't actually work out. He has good infantry in here. But yeah, it's not enough, he doesn't unload. And I'm basically through. Not much he can do. He buys the helicopter, but his helicopter is not gonna help him here. One second. Oh, yeah. I'm allergic, so you have to excuse that. He buys his CV in the helicopter. 1 second again. Doesn't work out for him, gets killed immediately. Tries to intercept me, but he's too slow, and this is it. Yeah, just how it can end really, really quick on this map. So there's not much for him to do now. No, like, it's already over, but yeah. You see how it can really end quickly on such a small map. And we're gonna see you on the next map. Yeah, and welcome back to Hell in a Very Small Place for our next part. This map is really, really tricky. Like, from the side we're on now, and from Alpha to Delta, it's okay. It's not nice, but it's okay. You can actually do it. You have decent defending your own spawn. You have a really open road into his spawn. It's okay. From the other side, we're gonna talk later about that. It's terrible. It's probably the worst map to Wildcard Rush on. And yeah, in general, Hell is not very good. But we're gonna do what we're gonna do. And yeah, we're gonna continue and power through. If I speak a little bit nasally or stuff like that, you have to excuse me. It's allergy season, so yeah. I'm suffering, my opponents are suffering, everybody's suffering. That's how we want to do it. I'm buying some defense immediately, I think. Just so he doesn't drive through and I have enough time to reinforce. And the Wildcard Rush itself is relatively heavy on Wildcards. And not so much infantry, so I don't think I even buy SS 90s. Because in the open field they don't do that much good. But yeah. Some basic defenses. I think I put the rattle in here to cover this bridge. This is like something that happens relatively often, like you click with all of them in here and just some random units start driving off this happens. Hope it's not UCV. And yeah, we're just gonna drive through. We avoid most of his units. I don't like going over this bridge, so I'm rerouting most of my units here. I think with this one I'm going there. He buys M1 Abrams. He's not pushing my spawn. It's a mistake from him. And his reinforcements are dead. My command is in. He's not getting back in here. Like, this is a... yeah. And it's over. Another 2-minute gameplay. That's how it should be if you do this shit. Yeah. And we will see you from the other side in a second. Hello and welcome back to the other side from hell. Like I told, this side is absolutely terrible for Wildcard rushing. And the reason is there's just no good routes. Like, you can start from here. You think, oh, this is a nice drive to his base. Problems? Most of the time the CVs are somewhere on the other side of the spawn, and the spawn is quite long. Other problem is, if he's probably gonna see what you're doing around here, and then he can just reroute all his stuff that's probably on this road, and just reroute it to here and intercept you and just give you a full broadside while driving to his spawn. You can get shot to pieces like fairly easily. If you wanna drive through the middle, you have the same problem, just worse. Basically, the only chance is like hoping you're not getting detected. But most people start with a weekend shopper, so the chances of that is not high. The other thing you can do, which I think is the best thing to do if it's still fairly risky, is taking this route through his 2-pointer into his spawn. And now we're gonna use one of the novelty units that we have in the deck but haven't used yet. And what we're gonna use is the Valkyrie to deploy a smoke cloud right here. So that when he has his units here, he hopefully does get less time to shoot at us. It's not that easy to... it's not that hard to time correctly. It's also not that easy to time... it's okay. You're gonna see. If you wanna know the timing, yeah. Starting around 30 seconds in to aim this. A little bit before that. His deployment is a little bit weird, but it is what it is. And I'm just driving through here. And he starts with a second CV, which is really not good for him. Deploy my smoke cloud. In this case unnecessary, but you don't know that. I have one unit defending here, buy another to defend here, and just drive through. This is quite scary. have all this infantry in the open, but you just have to commit and just drive through and hope you can panic them fast enough that they don't shoot all your shit to pieces. That's exactly what's happening. I think I'm rerouting like a few units to search for his CV. He's routing his units, driving a few onwards. And I just hope I can be in his CV fast enough. He was prepared for a heavy rush or something. Yeah. My CV should be in now and his CV is dead. Yeah. And this is it. I have to say again, this side is terrible. The success rate is like... I haven't gotten in this try so many gameplays on Hell, but when I did it when South Africa was released, I had like 20, 25 gameplays on Hell, and I think 2 or 3 were a success, so the success rate is not great, and I would absolutely not recommend it on this map. Okay, see you on the next map. Hello and welcome back to Punchbowl, and we continue our guide here, and I have to say, Punchbowl is probably the best map to Wildcard Rush on, like bar none. There is nothing that can compare, just because of this road. It's literally driving like directly to your opponent's spawn. It's also a road that most people are not even using in the opener, so most people have stuff driving through this direction or the 2-pointers. And maybe a Foxtrot push, but those are relatively rare. So yeah, it's the best map for wildcard rushing, and from Golf to Alpha it's also the best side. So this, if you just count the sides, this is #1 wildcard territory. Enjoy. And yeah, we have a good opponent this time, and this tells you that on perfect maps, like even somebody who's like really good at the game, like way better than me, will have problems dealing with this shit. And yeah, composition fairly normal. Like you have seen this over and over and over. Why I put defenses here is because I'm driving through here. I hope to kill everything in Echo and Foxtrot, or most of it, so I have more time to defend my CV here. But he could just drive his shit down this road, so I have to have defenses for that. And that's why I buy them early, so I don't have anything uncomfortable in my base, like my opponent will in a second. He's shooting up here, he's noting what's happening, he's rerouting his stuff, but the amount of time you get to react is so small, and I'm basically in here right now with so much force. He can't micro everything correctly, some of his stuff is there, some is not. Yeah, and I kill his CV, he bought another one, I have his spawn, he's doing the right thing, trying to pressure my CV, my spawn area, but it's basically too late. He has still some units, but without being able to buy reinforcements, this will just not go anywhere. And I reposition my CV. It doesn't matter if I'm micro good or micro bad in here, like this is just over. Completely over. The thing is, I know this guy, and he's actually playing on his main account and not his alt account, and he takes his ranked a little bit seriously. So we started talking with each other. He was like, hey, why are you cheesing me? Is it not bad enough that you got a disconnect from me? Like, we played before in ranked and he disconnected, so he lost a bunch of elo to it, even if he would have probably beaten me. So at the end I said, let's roll a dice, because that's what got me into this shit, like gambling. And we rolled off against each other, and I rolled low, he rolled high, and because of that I'm gonna surrender in a second. But I think everybody understands, like, this is a one record rush. Like, defending this on this map is incredibly hard. You really don't want to do it. Like, it's not much you can do on this map if you're not open fully for Foxtrot with the right units. And yeah, it's really easy to defend your own spawn. And this is basically one. He has like 3 units on the field that can actually fight. No, 2 that can actually fight. And there's not much he can do anymore. And I'm surrendering. Because I don't want to cost this guy's elo. Like, it's hard to get to Lieutenant General. He played a lot of ranked games. And if he loses against me, he has to play 20 more that he wins to make up for it. And we just don't want to do this to him. But yeah, see you from the next part. Welcome back to our guide. Now we are on the other side of Punchball. And yeah, this side is also really good. It's not as good as the other side. But yeah, this road is still the one you want to take. You want to put your CV in here. You can flood in with your void cards, search for the other CV, and have to hold your own spawn. Like, the basics is really the same. It's just a better map for it than most. We're playing against Chopser, and some people may know him as a guy with weird tendencies. He's to be respected. He stays cool. Like, I watched him probably 4 or 5 times, and he stayed cool every time. He even said GG and said, like, I have to give it to him. He is a weird player, but he's also not a pussy. And stays cool under pressure. Yeah. Let's just go to the replay. Moving forward, yeah, there it is. I immediately buy base defenses because Chopser already likes to drive into my spawn when we're playing normally. And no, we don't play normally. This is a micro mistake that's nearly gonna cost me. Like, not putting this in here. But yeah, he's not gonna do much that he can do with that. He reacts immediately, but drives forward. He knows what's up. Buys another CV, which is a good decision. Yeah, this was unnecessary. Because now my spawn is actually under threat. Okay, this. And yeah, I'm hunting for his CV now. I'm using some of these units to drive back to defend my spawn. Ferrets are not very useful. I don't know what he's doing with these lynx. He should probably just drive them to my spawn. I tried to hunt this with a cheetah D, but the ADAS protected it. I don't know why he's so afraid to drive this. Maybe. But he knows I can still buy reinforcement, right? He reacts really good. He could have done a little bit better, but he surrenders right here because he sees the Vikings rolling behind the CV. Not much he can do, but he defended fairly well. But on this map, it's, like I said, incredibly hard to do anything. And yeah, it is what it is. See you on the next map. Welcome back to our last map and second last take on this video. And yeah, we're on Highway to Seoul. Like, I think what we're gonna do on Highway is fairly obvious. We're gonna take the highway into the enemy spawn, no matter what comes. It's actually not such a bad idea as you would think, because yeah, most people, or a lot of people drive also made most of the stuff down here. But you have a few advantages. One, you're fast. Like, you drive forward. The enemy probably has bigger tanks than you, but most of the time not as much. So you can do that. You can just shoot him to pieces in that way. Or another thing you can do, you can just shoot a little bit and then advance to the high ground. So the stuff on the highway can actually not shoot at you, close the distance, and you drive back again. At the same time, if he has stuff outside the highway, he can't actually shoot down. So you can do that a little bit to split his forces. I think we're gonna see it on another replay from the other side. I don't actually remember what happens here. It's just the first replay I found with Highway. Let's see. Also, we are a little what I should not forget talking about. There are second spawns, like with Core and others, with Nuclear and other maps with second spawns. You want to defend this, you don't want to take it. So it's the same defenses with which I had in Core, just SFS90 and Parabat. He kills one of my one of my. How did he kill a white cut with a seed? He did. Okay. Because I didn't expect the ECR. I think he also tries to cheeses me. Like, this is a weird opener. This misses, I'm lucky there. This is just gonna get killed. I'm fanning out because I didn't know how much was behind it. The weird Gepards are keeping the helicopters at base. I think he wanted to go for my second spawn to intercept it. Yeah. I'm buying a cheetah to kill the tiger, or at least damage it. I'm not that worried about the hub, about the panther. And just continue. Like, if you have enough forces, you could at the same time redirect some of them in here. I think I wasn't confident that I had enough. Maybe send like one Rattle 20 the other way or something like that. But I think yeah, one Rattle 20 is gonna go the other way. But the main push, like, because this is important, like, the more important spawn to have. Not much. He has the Brennos. Can't do much. Like, this is probably Moto. This looks like Moto. Yeah, this looks like Moto. I'm capping my spawn, second spawn. After losing more unnecessary shit to this. And yeah. Let's see what happens next. Ah, yeah, I remember. He's driving those MX-10s into my second spawn. That's the reason we have the defenses. Like, I'm not worried at all. Yeah, and I think he surrenders now. He does. That's fairly typical for Highway. Yeah, you take the spawn, you don't take the second spawn. But yeah, it still works out most of the times. See you for the last time on the other map. Welcome back for the last time, I hope, on Highway to Seoul. From the other side. This is basically, the game plan is basically the same. There's, like, the map doesn't change much, the spawns layout change a little bit. And where you put your defenses in Bravo change a little bit. I think I'm going for a Buffalo instead of a Parabat, because this is a little bit more open. But that's basically all that changes. Yeah. This guy opens with some heavy stuff. I remember this replay, I think, and we're gonna see how, even if they have heavy stuff in here, that doesn't actually mean that this does not work. Because as soon as I get in range... Oh. I still shoot shit. I'm not driving in this because it's too close range for me. So I hope. Dividing his forces a little bit, like his Bradley can shoot at me and stuff like that. It doesn't work out too great this time. But yeah. It still did what it's supposed to do. He buys a longbow, which is probably not a good decision. Like, I still have... Oh, I only have two... No, I have two APs left. So... Probably not the best way to defend this. His M1A2 gets... Yeah, overwhelmed. And... Here's a Chinook here, but... Like... I have defenses. And Chinook is not that threatening. Longbow kills one of my AA pieces, gets done, even gets out. Like, I could have hunted for it, but I'm just I really want to go to his spawn now. Like, I don't want to buy him more shit. And he's still panicked. I think, yeah, I'm gonna reroute the AA to the left and all the rest to the right. Yeah, Longbow gets killed. Like, this stays behind for some reason. This should still be in there. A little bit of micro mistakes. And I have a spawn. And at this point it's basically game over from him and he surrenders. Yeah, that's how it's gonna end most of the time, as you have seen. Now at the end of this, what can I say? I think this is a fairly comprehensive guide on how to do it with good examples. On the other hand, this is not too complicated. I mean, you buy a column, you change like one unit or two at a time, but the basic composition stays the same almost all the time. And then you drive to the enemy spawn and hope you succeed. And a little bit of quick thinking on your feet and you probably will do good. I hope you don't plan to use this strategy. Like I said, this was all because of a bet that I lost. And yeah, I hope you had fun watching this content, I would call it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just glad this is kinda over. Yeah. See you guys. I hope you all have great time not implementing what you learned here. And yeah, have a great day.